In the following of the blog project in Django, we're going to continue our projects with completing the views.py and the urls.py. So the first thing we do here is to, first of all, let me explain about the views.py. In the views.py, we have two approaches for completing it. One of them is to create the function-based view, and the other one is the class-based view. So in our recent projects, such as the one we used for the search form, which was the previous project, we used the class-based view. But right here, it's better for us for this project to use the function view. So because of that, I'm going to keep Django.shortcuts import render, and also we're going to import our models classes. So from .models import, and because we're going to import all the classes, so we use star or asterisk. So now then what we're going to do is to define the class. So we're going to name the function home, because we're going to do this for the home page. So we can name this home page or home in short. And then what we're going to do is to add the request. So next thing I'm going to do is to use the posts from the models.py. So it was one of our classes, so posts, and I'm going to use the post with capital letter, which we have imported from the models. So I'm gonna write post, that's objects, that's all. So we're gonna get all of the data of the post. So meaning that we're going to get all the posts, and then we're going to render it. So return the render, return render. The first one is request. Then we enter the name of the template, which is home.html, which we're going to create in the templates folder. So let me write it inside of the apostrophes. So home.html. And then the next one is, so we have curly brackets for the posts, and we have the posts, which is equals to posts that we have defined here, which is for our post of a post from our database. So this is our views.py. Now let us complete the urls.py. So the urls.py is inside of the project folder. So like the other projects that we had, we used to create another urls.py inside of the app folder, which is here blog. But we do not necessarily have to do that, because once we import the views from the name of the app folder, which is blog, it's gonna work. So we don't have to necessarily create another urls.py in order to include the views. So here, instead of the urls.py, I'm going to, first of all, let's remove all the comments. And then what I'm gonna do is to import from blog, import views, and so there we go. So the next thing I'm going to have here for my urls.py, first of all, we need to add the admin. So we have it right over here, and we also, from urls, we should import the path. And so we have everything imported here. So the next thing, if you don't have this part, or you for any reason you have removed it, you should add the urls pattern equals to add. So we should define the path for the admin, which is predefined inside of your Django project. And then we're going to define the path for the home page. So I'm going to write path. And the home page has no address, so it's empty. And then here we're going to use views.home. as the views, and we're gonna name this home. So the name is home, which is for our home page. So that's it. Right now we need the home page, but we're gonna add some other URLs in the future. But for now, let's keep the home page, because what we're going to do is to be able to render our post on the main page, which is the home page. And then we're going to create another template for creating the post. But right now, the home is going to suffice, and it's enough for now. So the next thing we're going to do is to go after the templates. The two templates are needed, one for the base.html and the other one for home.html. So home.html is related to our homepage, where we have defined here instead of our path. The base.html is for the homepage, but also for a navbar that we are going to have in all of the pages, and we want to redirect to different navigations, and this base.html is the main part that has some kind of styles that we will have in other pages too. So let's first create our templates folder. So I can write mk there, or make directory, and then here I'm gonna name these templates just the same as always. We're gonna create that kind of folder instead of our main directory, which is my site folder. We have another my site, which is the name of our project, and we have the templates right over here. So before adding the templates name, let us switch to settings.py and add our templates directory here instead of our templates directory, dirs. So here I can write base with capital letter, base directory, base dir, and then we're going to add the templates. So templates. So there we go. We have defined the from the root directory, which is the base directory, to the templates folder, and here we are. So we can we can create all of the templates files inside of this folder. So now let's create, first of all, base.html. And the second template that we're going to create is home.html. And after creating them, first of all, let's get started with the base.html. So the first thing we're going to do is to load these static files. So I'm gonna later tell you where to store the static files, and we're gonna go after it, but for now we want to load the static files over here. So we can type load static. Now we're going to start our HTML code by typing. So the first thing we do here when we want to define that it's an HTML type of code, we use doc type HTML, just as it is, and or sometimes they write it with the capital letters this way. Doesn't really matter which one you write. And so the next step is to, so here we're going to write, first of all, add our meta tags. So first one is our head tag over here. So let us close this, and so then I'm gonna add the meta tags, meta charset, and so for that we use UTF-8 just as always. And so I'm gonna close this. The next one we're going to use is meta, and so these two tags are important in every project: meta name equals to viewport, and content equals to width, which is equals to device width. So because these are just repeating parts of every project, you can copy and paste. So you don't necessarily need to write that all the time. So I'm gonna write it for you so that you can write after me, but you don't necessarily have to if you have the code. So then in the next step, I'm going to add the Bootstrap CSS. So we're going to give it a link, and the link here is link href. And so here we're gonna I will paste the link. So what I'm gonna copy and paste here is very long Bootstrap code. You can just copy and paste this one because it's a very long Bootstrap code. So you need to get this one and then get this one and copy it. And then we're going to include the title. So the next part is the title that we're going to include in our base.html. And we normally do in most of our base.html. So here we use the Django template language, and we use the blog title, and then we end the blog. So this is the title of all of the blogs, all of the actually posts, blog title, and then we end the blog. And right in between we can write blog, my blog, or anything else. So here I can write my blog. So there we go. And so we're gonna close the head tag. So this part related to base.html is going to continue in the next video, and for now we're going to close the video, and in the next part we're going to continue this base.html. So let's save this and go after the next video.